Good afternoon. In this presentation, Team Canada will discuss the lessons learned in our investigation of the cybersecurity incident that took place in the Summit of Nations. The information provided in this presentation will point out mistakes that were made, measures that should have been taken prior, and what needs to be done going forward. Team Canada hopes this information will help other nations present in the summit better secure their networks also. In this presentation, we will discuss the following: a brief overview of what happened, the work performed during recovery, areas where the incident response team was effective, and areas that need improvement. A brief overview of what happened. The HR benefits coordinator received an email which was disguised as a billing invoice. When he opened the email, it was blank, but there were instructions to update links in order to populate the Excel document. He followed these instructions, but afterwards the documents and files in the shared folder became encrypted. We advised the benefits coordinator to leave the computer on and not disconnect from the network. What happened continued. Malware was downloaded to the benefits coordinator's server when he completed the instructions. This malware, called ransomware, successfully encrypted all effective files and delivered instructions and demands from the attacker for decrypting the system again.
Work performed during recovery. Initially, upon examining the system, we learned that the benefits coordinator was the target of a successful phishing attack. The phishing attack was an encrypted ransomware attack. As we continued to perform the work during recovery, we infected another system and used Wireshark to capture network traffic during the infection. From this, we identified that the external and internal systems that had communicated with the compromised server, the IP addresses that communicated the malware to the affected system, was an internal system. 3 files that were copied to the affected server, and the location URL associated with the copied files from the affected server. As we continued to perform work for recovery, we analyzed the files that were downloaded to the affected server and discovered that one of the files contained instructions and demands for decrypting the server. The other file contained an encrypted message which we decrypted and found instructions that were meant for the script kiddie. We found critical information in this file which ultimately led us to decrypt the affected server.
Areas where the response was effective. Areas where our controls performed successfully are in our incident response, the fact that the attack was resolved without having to pay the attacker's ransom, and our security analysts were trained and skilled enough to resolve the issue on their own. Areas that need improvement. One of the main failures was that of our antivirus and anti-malware software. These failed to recognize the delivery and execution of the attack. The rules and settings of our firewalls were insufficient to flag and prevent the hostile software from entering our network. Our software patching is too infrequent to offer proper safety and must be reassessed. The workstation of the benefits coordinator was using should have been earlier flagged as a critical system and been given higher level of network security. Our overall security posture needs to be reevaluated. Controls that failed include our email server spam filters did not detect or block the email with suspicious attachment. Our antivirus and anti-malware software failed to recognize and block the email or attachment from being opened. Our antivirus and anti-malware software failed to prevent the attacked software from being executed. And our employee training procedures did not adequately prepare our employees to properly recognize the phishing email or the suspicious attachment.
So we need to ask ourselves, what are the areas that need improvement? In this slide, we're going to provide recommended improvement, and they are constantly educate and train all users so they can understand the risk and methods used by social engineers sending phishing emails. The anti-malware and antivirus software needs to be replaced with one that would detect and block such an attack in future. Our systems must utilize SNOT to create rules that would prevent such undesired traffic from entering the network. And then there should be 2 kinds of high-quality firewalls, host firewalls and a network firewalls, to significantly reduce odds of successful phishing attacks. Now, how do we improve security awareness program? We can do this by training employees to recognize phishing and social engineering attacks to help them to be more aware of this cyber threat, thereby reducing the likelihood that they will fall for these schemes in the future. We could also regularly subject all users to the following 2 types of post-training tests. Simple assessment that occur at the end of a training program, and randomized fake phishing emails designed to see if employees will fall for them. Lastly, we can highlight major cybersecurity incidents in the industry and their underlying causes during meetings with team members. For improvement, we can also manage patches and basic operating system security by enhancing security from known threats. This is by greatly reducing security breaches of various kinds increase productivity because often patches come with performance improvement for the product they apply to or fix crashes, helping the organization to keep up with the latest advancement in technology.
Recommended actions for BCP. Recommended actions to incorporate in the BCP plan are: incorporate redundancy and fault tolerance so that when one server fails or becomes infected with some form of malware, operations can still continue. All single points of failure must be removed, and all files must be backed up on a separate secure server.
Areas that need improvement continues. Recommended additions to incorporate in the BCP plan are: 1. Incorporate redundancy and fault tolerance so that when one server fails or becomes infected with some form of malware, operations can still continue. 2. All single points of failure must be removed. 3. All files must be backed up on a separate server.
At this point, Team Canada would like to thank you for listening and watching our presentation. If you have any questions, please provide it at teamcanada.gov. Thank you and have a good day.
This ends the presentation from Team Canada. Thank you for your attention.